Paragraph 25. 1. A prisoner shall keep his or her person clean. 2. A prisoner shall be permitted to take a hot shower or bath as often as is reasonably practicable, and shall be entitled to and may be required to take a hot shower or bath at least once a week. 3. A prisoner shall be provided, free of charge, with such toilet articles as are necessary for the maintenance of health and cleanliness. 4. Additional toilet articles shall be available for purchase in the prison at such times and in such part of the prison as the governor considers appropriate. 5. Unless the prison doctor considers it necessary on health grounds, a person's hair shall not be cut, and a male prisoner shall not be prevented from growing or be required to remove or grow a moustache or beard without his or her consent. 6. The governor may require a prisoner to cover or restrain his or her hair at such times as are necessary for the maintenance of good health and for reasons of hygiene or safety. You must have read the leaflet half a dozen times at least by now. Your eyes are darting over the page, dreading the moment when the snoring slob on the under bunk will wake up and your first day in Amli begins. Francis, you're tired. The leaflet drops from your weak fingers during a moment of microsleep and you wake up. The smell. It's a dank, slight smell of human feces, even though there is a cutting board placed on top over the bowl of the open metal toilet that is in the corner about 8 feet from your bed.
I simply stare, try and ignore the smell, try and ignore everything around me, if only for a few seconds more.
Holding on, grasping on, and there you can hear the first doors being open near the low numbers on B. The screws are coming from both sides simultaneously. Slams. There's one prisoner giving a belly laugh that seems to linger while someone is screaming, shouting. Someone throwing plates. Screws are talking back. Coming this way. Only minutes now. You realize that he hasn't snored for the last few minutes. He must be awake.
Oh, wonderful. That's when I'll get my sleep then, when he's awake. Maybe I can do something to keep him awake all night. Then again, maybe that's stupid. I don't even know. I'm not really thinking very clearly because I haven't slept at all.
Hear him sitting up and lighting something up. It's like an acrid smell in the air. Slightly molten plastic that ain't cannabis. And it sure as hell is not tobacco. Sounds of the screws coming closer. It smells like, oh.
Does it by any chance have a medicinal smell? Something I'd actually be familiar with? Does he suffer from asthma or something?
Breathe it in. Yes, maybe a medicine and intelligence.
3 successes.
You know what it's not? It's not any sort of freebase, because there is a crackling and he's smoking it in the paper. You never heard of anybody freebasing from a spliff. Oh, weird. You can't identify it, but it's not what you would expect. Not weed, not cocaine, not not even ketamine. You've smelt that burning once in a lab. Interesting.
Well, in that case, I'm simply going to watch. After all, if it is contraband, he's going to be discovered with it very shortly. If it's not contraband, then I guess he'll be fine.
Bang. Slam. Doors being opened. Yawnings. Banging of somebody shaking the rail. Paul, it's time to change the little one's diapers. It's that time. You can smell it. And then you wake up and realize that it's not your youngest shit you're smelling. Rodney is squeezed together in a S shape on the bowl, dropping a long night of anxiety and bad food's load. It bangs on the sides hard. Fuck, what is that? Good morning. It's your first morning in HMP Leeds, Paul.
I first instinctively turned to see this sight of him sitting there, and then I look back. I don't feel like I should even acknowledge him. Or is this normal now? Is this the new normal? I just say, good morning, Mosley.
Morning, Governor. And he starts sniffling. Oh, at least he's hung a towel on a string. So, some kind of separation. It doesn't help much visually or audially, but you guess you can appreciate the thought.
Yeah, it's a gesture. Right now, as I hear him cry again, I can feel the corner of my eyes sting a bit. I can feel how I really wish I was back in that dream, that other reality. You know, whatever wouldn't I give to be changing the diapers of the twins at this point. And I sit up and I stand and I just go over to the bars and I just look out.
Get up a little bit on your toes to reach the smallish window. There's bars there out to the yard. The door itself out to the landing is solid, except for a little square of glass reinforced with iron. Iron threads melted into the thick armored glass. Around them is a riveted frame. It's a hatch that can be opened by the screws.
Right.
But that's it. That small window out onto the wing is all you have. You can see the other side has gotten out. You can't see to Francis's cell since that is on the right. 90 degrees to the right. 5 cells away. But yeah. You can see how it must be 434 and 433 have gotten out, and one seems to have Yeah, and one is ripping the t-shirt of another guy. There's a screw blows in a whistle and points. Nobody seems to care. Somebody laughs, and then there's like the shirtless guy gets a blow to the head. It's just with the palm of the hand, but it's powerful and it's in the face area, and he leans himself against the wall and just turns around, just walks down along the landing.
Who was the other guy? Was it one of those I'd met?
The other guy from this is 334. 334 looks like... Yeah, he was one of the guys in the gang that approached you. Not the dude that talked to you, but someone else. One of the Middle Eastern looking guys.
It's not taking any shit and seems capable enough. Just note that to myself. Try to focus on some kind of business, I guess. Things to take note of. And I kind of... Yeah. I'm very torn between feeling like I want to make the best of this and just wanting to deny it all.
There is no denying it. But you would be lying to yourself unless you acknowledge that it's hard to cross that threshold out into the prison proper. It's gonna be hard. And even being here, yeah, dream. But it's not. There's a knock on your cell door, Francis.
I do my best to stand upright and look vaguely presentable. I'm assuming it's some...
Breakfast association for 1 hour. Breakfast association for 1 hour. Meet with volunteer listener for induction. Yeah, it's gonna be right here. So you... she looks at her phone. You, Ward. Put. Donnie, go. Not a word. Donnie gets up. You can see that the screw, a quite thick-set blonde woman with freckles, she smells a little bit in the air, but doesn't even seem to register it more than that. And then they're out, and the door is open.
Do I understand that I'm now expected to head down to some, I assume, the cafeteria for this breakfast association, whatever nonsense?
It seems like there is association time from, if you remember correctly from the booklet, 7:30 in the morning until 8:30 in the morning. And then there is dinner around 12 with 1 hour of association from 12 to 13. And then there is tea at 16 to 17. And then there is a possibility for a night break around 7. And at 8 it's bang up for the evening. So that's the routine.
Association... What does that exactly mean again?
You see it out on the landing before you. All the cell doors are open. Prisoners can visit each other's cells during time of association. There are so many questions. And they are probably about to get answered by that guy who is waltzing down the landing towards your cell. He's a small guy. He can't be, that's like shy of 5 feet, and he's got this crazy shaving pattern in his stubbled hair. He's got big teeth and a wide smile and a hefty nose. and is dressed in a completely pink, like trainers, pink trainers with Adidas stripes on the side and nice sneakers. And he's coming up to your cell door.
I sighed to myself, getting ready once again to probably have to interact with some sort of insane or highly dangerous individual, and I just go and sit on the bunk, waiting for this person I assume to enter my cell.
Yeah, you can hear him saying hi to people on the way. Oh, this is house. And here we are. Oop, welcome, top of the morning, Governor. How's your father? Would you believe what a beautiful day we have today, sir? What's your name? I'm Lamprey. I am your induction listener and volunteer of this fine HMP Leeds Assembly at your service. Have you slept?
No.
That would bring you among the majority who have the slight prison jitters. But worry not, I am here to make all good. You see, you wouldn't believe it now, but you can have a good time doing bird.
Doing bird. What does that
Yes, doing bird. That is what we are doing here. Wager, as you are not of the villainous profession yourself, Governor? A little bit of an accidental trip up here? Not knowing what bird is and all that?
Yes, that would be
Come,
astute of you.
we must not let your legendary friend waiting. Chop chop.
I make to stand, and I kind of look at him quizzically and say, legendary friend, who are you talking
Mr.
about?
Richards, Killer P, the cop killer, maniac, cult Christian of the Sun fame, of course.
Yes, I've heard of him. What makes you think I know that much about him?
You got in the same herd. That means that you are associates, you are mates, you are one flock, and most of all, I take you all at once, so I don't have to bloody be chasing you all over all the time. I guess he's your mate now, or you're the same flock. What? Come with me.
Well, alright, I don't know him that well, but if you say it...
Four more people. There's this crazy Russian down on landing 2, and I believe there's this chap, young chappie, on 2 also. He looks like he should be in Jew, but no. So, while he is running his mouth, Crash, how's your father? Shall we be going or shall we not, yeah? How's your father? Come, let's be going, Governor.
I sighed, noticing this man clearly is slightly off. Oh, I don't even know what ilk he is. As he's running his mouth, I do just try and take him in quickly. Can I sort of use insight to deduce, is this person actually dangerous, harmless, somewhere in between?
You may. I mean, what you see before you is a higher than energy dude. He's got quite positive feeling beaming around him. He's genuinely smiling, and he does seem to be enjoying himself. When people pass him by on the landing, he goes like, "Hey, oh, hi, Governor. Oh, I remember that pool game there. Oh, that was legendary. Yeah, and yeah, fun with the pool cane later." And he's constantly running his mouth, but he is hard to read. Very hard to read. So let's see how you do.
So what should I roll? Insight and wits, maybe?
What is it that you're looking for?
So insight to try and gain insight into his, let's say, whether he is dangerous or not.
What are you looking for? Are you looking at his body language? Are you looking at his, or are you trying to identify like what is that accent and so on?
You know what? Actually, let's say because it's me, it's intelligence. I am trying to, criminally profile him. I'm used to doing that sort of thing. So let's say that. So maybe intelligence insight, as I'm trying to analyze him as I would a virus. After all, I don't see the difference really between viruses and people sometimes. 3 successes.
I mean, it's clearly clearly in his own element. He's clearly Cockney. He's clearly not originally British. So he's small. He is probably dangerous from how people are treating him, or he's just some sort of freak. It is. You really can't get a perfect read, but your first guess would be that he's dangerous. Otherwise, why would he be allowed to carry on like this?
Exactly.
So, yeah, he takes you by the hand now and sort of drags you out.
I would love to try and resist him taking my hand, but due to my assessment, I simply smile and say, "Oh, of course, lead the way. Happy to be here among the birds."
Yeah, I mean, chop, just 1 hour of association this time. So, yeah, where were we? Oh, so as for you not being a villain, I am that. I am a villain. A disciplined, old-school traditionalist, you might say, in the villainous profession. I have my area of expertise, and here I am now serving in the game of cops and robbers. Yes, here is 74. There's a bang, and the screw opens the door to your cell, Paul.
I guess that means breakfast time, I say, and I look back to Mosley.
Breakfast, 1 hour association, and is gone. But when this happens, you can also just instantly see Francis being dragged along the walkway by the arm by a small, jumpy guy in pink training gear.
As I see that, I still take a little short moment. And I look at Mosley. Is he getting out as well, or what is he doing?
Mosley is just sitting down. He's still on the toilet, crying a little bit. Could you get me something Could you get me something to eat?
I'll get you something. We'll talk later.
Yeah. See. He can't really come up with anything to say. He gets up and wipes when you're at the door.
I'm not really sure what to make of him. I'm not gonna do favors for him just like that.
Oh, you have plenty of time to find out, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I'll see. I might do this for him. Might get some kind of hold on him. Maybe that could be useful. I don't know. Even if this guy could be useful. And I try to keep that mentality for a bit. Who can I use? I step out.
You step out to large blokes, one with red long hair and a curly mustachio. Scooches over to the side. One of them turns around and stares at you. But then you hear, no. Don't you stare. Don't you stare at Governor. Don't you stare at Killer P. Whatever goes through your mind right now, you shelf that. Will you, gent? Yes? Very good. There is my boy. Because this man is having his induction day. And if you want to cut him and so on, you do it after induction. You understand? Good. Perfect. Hello, I'm Lamprey. How's your father? I am your local guide. Yeah, Crash, how's your father? And this is your induction day. This is Ward, and you are Richard.
Hello, Lamprey. Hello, Ward.
Hello. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful morning to you. Have you been sleeping?
I guess you're gonna take me to my assignment for today, or what?
Nah, today, Governor, I'm just showing you around. I do care to wager that will be at least 1 or 2 weeks before the good governor has time to allot any lucrative menial tasks to you, governors, I'm afraid. Not the most spiffly run institution, this one. If I may say so.
And what do you get for that?
Oh, you get your fantastic allowance. Would you care to start walking with us? We have a few more fresh birds to catch. So yeah, I was up in Edinburgh doing time once, and they had an allotment of, let's see, what was it? It was 15 quid a week, and that was the maximum allowance, and that would go rock bottom if you would if you wouldn't behave. Same thing here, but with television privileges. That is one of the most highest coveted privileges here. Bang up your cell, TV's gone, and bang up your cell again, and you're in solitary, and so on and so forth. You can probably imagine there is a ladder of these privileges. Oh, here we are. Next one. Yeah, there's cell door opens, and a nondescript African British dude with shaved head and worn out khaki t-shirt and cargo pants with sandals on comes walking out, just silently nodding. Oh, hell, there you are, Gasseni. I think that I can run my mouth as much as I can. I have understood that you do not speak a single word of the Queen's language, but boy, you are a big man, and that is lovely. I would love to spend some private time with you sometime, but not right now because we are doing this induction, so you have to come this way. He waves at him, and the man follows along. You get to the stairway down to the lower levels. The screws are mostly leaving the landing at this point, getting back to the star, the middle of the radial prison, where all of the four wings strike out like enormous cathedral halls to the northwest, east, and to the west.
As we go down the stairs and start passing by cells and people, I quite loudly say, even though it seems like I'm just talking to Richards. So, you're legendary apparently. Why is that?
If I'm legendary, you could ask anyone else.
Well, maybe I'll do that, but if you need anything, just let me know.
What can you get me?
We can talk about that later. According to Lamprey here, we're friends, so...
Yeah, how's your father? Yes, what you can get here, you can get practically anything. I was glad you asked. We have this this astounding system of a catalogue. Positively civilized, this one. Here, you see, he pulls out a wrinkled piece of paper with little cross boxes and items, as descriptions of items. It's like flossing equipment, there's deodorant, there's some there's newspaper subscriptions, and you just cross these in here, you see, and you slide them into the cafeteria, where we will soon be heading up here after we pass them cages here. You see these cages that with the school. Hi, hello Helen, how you doing? Yeah, I'll go down on you later in the laundry room, no problem. Hello. And yes, those are the cages where the screws sit, and as you can see, they have quite the the pathway to see into all of these wings. So yes, they see us playing around there. Yeah, and there you see the cafeteria. He points towards the lowest floor. You can see it clearly through the lowest level of the blocking net, the suicide net that is suspended between the walkways. The cafeteria seems to be like a kiosk coming out of one of the walls, not reaching quite up to the whole of the ceiling. Almost like a hot dog stand was placed on the side of the wall. There's place for maybe 5 or 6 people to stand with trays in front of a low series of workplaces where 4 bored out of their skulls prisoners are serving up tea and what looks like some sort of grey flat buns in plastic wrapping that seems to be extremely hard to get open. One of the prisoners standing there like, they're trying to, there's 4 people standing there trying to get their bun packages open. So that is the cafeteria. On number 1, the nervous kid that was brought in with you, who had been booked for a weed charge, according to himself at least, comes along. And from number 2 comes walking with clanging, fast running steps down the stair, the Russian that you came in with as well. Whole band back together again, +1. Oh, there you are. He just makes a grunting sound. Stands in the back. The Russian, whatever his name is, he's standing at least a foot and a half over Lamprey, and he has a white shirt on, but it's open until the 3rd button or something, showing off his extensively tattooed and extremely muscular body. He has just a pair of shorts on that are checkered in red and black, and training shoes on. He does not look like you would like to tell him that it looks kind of ridiculous, but he does. He's holding his jaws clenched shut and is just gazing foggily ahead of him, not looking at Lamprey, not looking at you, not looking at anything. Just looks pissed off, walking behind you. So you're coming down to the cafeteria area. In front of it and longer, further away in the wing, there's a number of snooker tables. There's a couple of screens that you can't see quite what's there, but there seems to be tables, a few orange sofa groups, all of them within easy sight from the star, where the cages are, where the screws are. Because as casually as the 150 prisoners that are starting to mill about here move and smoke and chat and slap backs, there is no question that there is a strange tension in the air. Lamprey keeps on running his mouth and walking by the cafeteria. There are these metal trays there with plastic cups.
Looking at everything, just feels very strange just thinking that this is something that, well, it's my everyday. It's going to be what I have to get used to now. Will I get used to this? Will this be normal? After all that time that I'm going to do here? I see people lining up to take the food, and I feel a clench in my stomach. Yeah, I better eat something. I try to figure out, just looking at people, what kind of groups there are. Though I don't want to be looking around too much, because that'll make me look like a tourist.
Try to keep your eyes about you, scanning around. Lamprey slaps you on the back. Yeah, quite a little mansion we have here, yeah? Positive gentleman's club here. It is nothing but the absolutely finest for this here good establishment. I would say that we range between the purveyors of cocaine and marijuana to the most exquisite handlers of demolitions and other crafts there in between. You will not find so much the pilferers, the burglars, the footpads. You but the footpads you will find, but not so much the burglars, if you see my meaning. Most of these gentlemen here have some sort of violence or drugs in their criminal record, and I bet that you do as well. So you should feel just right at home, Governor. Wouldn't you? Crush on your father. This here is the association area, and as you have realized by now, the association is between the hours that have been given in your booklet. And please let me give you a piece of advice on doing bird. Be polite. Do not seek unnecessary conflict. Keep to yourself, and just do not run your mouth in general about things here and there and everywhere. Do not be like me. Do not be like Lamprey. Lamprey is his own governor. Crush out your father. That's right in it. So all of you, you birds, the best way for you to pass time is having a good time. And do start to appreciate the time you have with each other. That is, and here. Walks past a couple of the guys in the line by the trays, and he picks up a tray and just goes bang over the head of the guy holding his cup of tea. The cup spills. He just goes like, ugh! They're shoved over and into the serving queue. And Lamprey continues walking on. And here, over here, we have our very nice snooker tables. Do not even imagine using one of these fine pools as a weapon. You will have it inserted to your rectum by force. So, the guy behind him has kneeled over, shaking his head, looking around, confused. There's some laughter breaking out around. Lamprey continues, running his mouth.
I stop for a bit first, just looking at the other guy, and then back at Lamprey. Then I slowly start following again. That was strange. And I kind of throw a glance over my shoulder what this other guy is doing.
Yeah, one of his mates is helping him up on his feet. But they just, dust him off. Takes up his mug, refills it again, and looks around, and there's like some people are going like, "Whoop, Lamprey!" Whoop.
I simply do my best to not react, realizing my initial assessment was completely correct. This individual likely is psychopathic in some way, probably was involved in organized crime. He has respect in here, can probably do whatever he wants, especially to other inmates. So I'll smile and pretend that this act of barbarism is totally fine.
Yeah, Chris shows your father. There's one of the things that is worth mentioning is that there's from the screws, gambling is frowned upon, but it is very easy to buy a slight means of some sleight of hand. Just play some games for higher stakes than honor. Honor being the finest thing a man can have, so I play for that. But chess for burn, very common. If any one of you gentlemen likes to push them pieces of wood, then I can recommend the maybe the pool tournament, possibly. It depends on if snooker is your thing or what is how your preferences are. A good gentleman. Any place here?
Do we ever get to do sports outside?
Yes, the yard is for the dinner association. Yard can usually be done then. Sometimes yard's closed, but for most of the days between during tea time and during the evening shower association, it is perfectly common to go out running for a bit there or walking. And I would say I remember back in the days, but when we would walk in circles. Now people standing still. All these we still trying to move. Look, it's like this. It's like the ones in the middle. Yes, that would be. I would be in the outer part of the middle. Yes, and then you have the ones doing things for, armed or violent second, and now third, and this sort of you talk, and you walk by postcode, and you walk circularly, and you keep on moving during the entire time. Things are slightly different now. I would dare to say that they're quite the ever-growing Muslim population in this jail likes standing still into a higher degree than is really common or should be permissible by the morality of crush out your fathers.
Are you a believer yourself?
It should.
In any kind of religion? Lamprey?
Oh, Mom brought me up good and well. Church of England. Certainly Sunday school, all of that. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think it, but yeah, I crush as your father. This is how. And now this, but also I should mention to you that it is possible, if you are so inclined, if you are a total complete dweeb, a useless mama's boy, it is possible for you to acquire a PlayStation if you have for your credits as well. That requires a lot of saving and good behavior. But I have been told to say that there is no Tekken is permissible though in this jail, and so, but you have gotten your tea at this point, while the endless tirade continues. Is there anything else you have done while you have been listening?
I suppose I've been taking the opportunity to actually examine the building itself, in particular the window situation. If I'm correct in assuming, it would seem there aren't any. Barely any at all, any natural sunlight.
There is barely any coming in. There's two reasons for it. Leeds is overcast for an enormous amount of the day of the year. And secondly, the windows are very high up, and the walls are very deep, so they're recessed. So the angle of the light is just like, if it would be a bright day, it would be shining almost in the middle of the star. And a secondary reflection somewhere like at the beginning of where the pool tables stand. Some parts of the landing are touched. The ones that are closest to the star are touched by sunlight, would be touched by sunlight, but that is it, as it goes for direct sunlight anyway. But it's small windows high up, and they're grimy. This one hardly lets in any light at all.
I sigh to myself, noting that the one advantage we might have had would appear to be completely null and void. Any one of these people could be contaminated. Wouldn't know.
On the subject of association, it is now fast drawing to a close. As you might see, drink your tea. Yes, you haste, post haste. Yes, like that. So, you and I shall meet again. All of you. We shall reconvene our little villainous parade at a time of. Yeah, after bang up, I'll be doing the rounds again. Don't you miss out. The tour will continue.
Got you.
Lovely.
Thank you, Lamprey.
Yeah?
Mr. Lamprey, one final question before you go, and I lower my tone a little. In your humble opinion, who is best respectfully avoided? In your humble opinion, who should one just let be and let do their own thing?
Far would it be for me to make such sweeping generalizations, Governor Krashad's your father. That would be, I would say, they are. You will find out. Don't push anyone. Don't try anyone. Be civil. And most importantly, in my experience, this is a thing that very few people doing bad get right these days. At least the young ones, and that is, do not mistake. Do not mistake. As your father, do not mistake being kind for being weak. 20 minutes to bang up. 20 minutes to bang up.
I sit and eat what I get, what is served.
Yeah, this fine morning there are some It's scones, apparently, but they are rock hard and they're in packaging that is almost impossible to open. There's tea and there's some sort of porridge, sludge. All of it looks like slightly worse than you would have imagined that Her Majesty's government would, of anything that would feed to a UK citizen. Slightly worse, on the borderline.
Well, I'll try and put one of those rock hard scones away, if I can, to bring back to my, morose cellmate. And I'll just eat, because I need to be strong. Need to eat whatever we can here. And I look around as well. And I say out loud, well, I guess there's not much chance for a baseball game.
No, something tells me that's not on the cards, I say as I grimly eat my disgusting food, barely stomaching it, but acknowledging that I'm going to have to make do.
Yeah, just a few minutes, it's just like 10-15 minutes left until bang up. So, yeah, a lot of the prisoners are making their ways up to the landings, and Lamprey has left you for the moment. You see Rodney on the landing, a little teary-eyed, and he gestures for you like, come here, come over here. Yeah, that's your morose cellmate right there. He's dared himself out. He's out on the landing gesticulating for you.
I look around at first. Are there like signs here? Is there anything pointing out that there's actually a library somewhere around here?
I guess that's part 2 of the tour. There's, when you look in the direction of the star, there's clearly some administration offices and so on the wing to the west. And the star itself seems to have several doorways leading into other spaces. There's not much in the way of signage. There's like reception, entrance, family visits. Those arrows are clearly marked out, and there's one to services, and do guess that services is that. The rest where the chapel could be and so on. But that looks to be like behind the door that is at the moment locked. The doors to the entire star are locked at the moment.
Well, I guess it's small enough to remember where you've been. But it's good that there's a chapel at least. I think to myself as I finish up and start making my way then up towards Rodney.
Yeah. As you come out to the landing, Rodney has like withdrawn into the cell already. There's full of people on the landing. There's 2 guys are sitting on the railing, like jumping on it, testing its weight a little bit. And one of them, like, when you pass towards your cell, he leans back and like locks his feet straight across the landing, like balancing with his small of his back on the landing, his feet on the wall in front of you, so you will either have to dodge or push.
Well, I just stop and I look at him.
Yeah, he swings his feet down and makes a gesture like he's inviting you to walk on. Most of the cell doors are open. There's laughter and music heard from a lot of them. Somewhere someone screams, but it mostly seems to be happy sounds, but somewhere someone screams.
I give him a slight nod, and I just keep walking.
You walk on by into your cell. Francis, in the meanwhile, where are you?
Honestly, I don't see the point in anything other than going back to my cell. I don't have that much time left anyway.
Yeah, you're heading back to the cell. At least when you're in the small group. Yeah, the Russian still hasn't said anything. He leaves you with a nod. He says, good luck. On his landing. You're up and you see Donnie moving like really quite rapidly. He's moving away from you, like around. It almost looks like he's exercising. Like this neck moving sideways, the head with the close cropped hair bobbing up and down, moving quite broadly, bumps into somebody and just hisses at him and then keeps on going. Later. I'm in a hurry.
I find myself looking in direction of Paul and seeing him handling what I assume is his cellmate, some poor, crying individual, and really wishing that we could have swapped. I'd much rather have a broken man than this insane fool.
Yeah, you watch as Paul goes into the cell. And 4 men move out of cells next to him and block the door.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the 3rd season of the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Eriksson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder. The music was created by Lola Zasa, and the sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org, zapsplat.com, and Sirenscape. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, Bob Lange, Julián, and Cameron for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Inti Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. And remember, death is not the end.